All right, let's talk business. Today, we're heading way north to check out a state that, let's be honest, probably isn't on your radar. We're going to see if the last frontier could actually be the right frontier for your new company. So, you're ready to plant your flag and start a business in the USA? That's awesome. It's a land of incredible opportunity, but man, it's also a land of a ton of choices. And look, we all know the drill. For most founders, especially if you're outside the US, the conversation pretty much starts and ends with two names: Delaware, the corporate heavyweight, and Wyoming, the LLC pioneer.
But what if we decided to look past the usual suspects? What if there's a hidden gem waiting for you, a place that's all about rugged independence and wide open spaces? Yeah, let's talk about Alaska.
Okay, first things first, the pitch. In a world where everyone's talking about Delaware and Wyoming, why in the world should you even give Alaska a second thought? Let's take a look at what makes its economy so unique.
You know, Alaska's nickname is the last frontier, and honestly, that's the perfect way to think about it. It just screams opportunity, right? It feels like a place that isn't already saturated, where you can still carve out your own path.
And the state's economy totally backs up that frontier vibe. We're talking about an economy built on absolute heavy hitters like oil, natural gas, and fishing. This isn't some small-time operation. This foundation has led to one of the highest per-person incomes in the entire country. It's a land of massive resources and serious economic punch.
Okay, that's the big picture, the story. But you're a founder. The story is nice, but the numbers have to work. So let's get down to brass tacks. What are the actual costs and the key things you need to know about forming an LLC in Alaska?
All right, first up, what's it going to cost you just to get in the door? The state filing fee to make your LLC official is a one-time payment of $250. That's your ticket to entry.
Now, what about keeping it running? Alaska has a $100 report fee, but, and this is the important part, it's biennial. That's a fancy word for every 2 years. So you're not paying this every single year, which kind of works out to just $50 a year. Not bad. Now for the big one. Let's talk taxes. The single biggest perk of an Alaska LLC is how it's taxed. It's what's called a pass-through entity. Basically, the state doesn't tax the business itself. All the profits just pass through directly to you, the owner, and you just report that on your personal taxes. For a lot of founders, especially international ones, this makes life so much simpler. So we've got the startup cost, the maintenance cost, and the tax situation. Let's put it all together and figure out the real bottom line here. What's the final verdict on forming a business in Alaska?
You know, when you boil it all down, it's a really simple trade-off. The huge plus is that super straightforward pass-through tax system. The downside isn't really a financial thing, it's more of an administrative one. You just have to file that report every 2 years. It's not a huge task, but it is a deadline you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Which brings us to the million-dollar question: who is the ideal founder for an Alaska LLC? It seems like it's for the entrepreneur who wants a simple, legitimate U.S. company, but doesn't need all the complex legal shields of Delaware or the intense privacy of Wyoming. It's for someone who just values clean, simple tax rules over everything else. But here's the thing. Whether you choose Alaska, Wyoming, or Delaware, picking your state is a massive decision. But it's just the first one. It's the launch pad, my friend, not the final destination. So you've claimed your little piece of the frontier. Awesome. But now you got to get the right gear for the journey ahead, because a whole new set of critical decisions is coming right up. And this is where the real work starts. Now you have to find a registered agent, a bank, compliance partners, and if you're a global founder, you know the challenges are unique. You need clear, unbiased, data-driven facts to compare all these options, not just a bunch of fluffy marketing guides. You need tools built for your specific journey. Because at the end of the day, you're not just trying to start a company, you're trying to build one on a solid foundation, making every single choice with total confidence. To get your hands on the real data and the comparisons you need to build your US company the smart way, head over to en.startupsole.com. So, is the last frontier right for you? Now you've got a better idea, and the data can help you make that final call. Thanks for tuning in.